Hello guys, Arkan here. I just want to take some time to tell you guys that we have a Patreon set up for the channel. It's an additional way you can support us. So I will put the link in the YouTube cards and in the description. Thanks for checking it out and I hope you enjoyed the video. Hello guys, Arkan here. Welcome to another toe dip. This is LAutomne, which is French for autumn. This VN was developed by the Bjakery, and it tells the story of a 32-year-old who goes back to his sleepy college town after his recent relationship broke down and the company that he worked for also broke down. He goes back to his college town to regain a sense of normalcy in his life. So let's check out the story. All names, characters, business, places, events, Chapter 1. Le Premier Frima. It's a small plane. I think my dad used to call them puddle jumpers. The boar next to me has slept the entire flight, his solid frame pressing me against the wall of the plane. I reach up and brush the hair away from my eyes, then settle my forehead against the cool window. It's dark out. Lights are scattered across the land below in an intricate pattern. The intercom crackles. Ladies and gentlemen, we've begun our descent into Alder Falls. Please turn off and stow all electronic devices. At this time, we ask for all seat backs to be returned to their full and upright position. Please secure any carry-on items and stow your tray table as we prepare for landing. There's a grunt followed by a snore as the boar shifts in his seat, either feigning sleep or missing the announcement entirely. Only when the steward makes his way through the aisles and shakes the gentleman awake does he follow directions. After, he has a scowl on his face. These planes are small, so it must be uncomfortable for him. I continue to gaze out the window, tugging at the collar of my jacket to help with airflow. My eyes wander back and forth across the changing landscape, picking out the river the town is named after, along with the hard-topped dome of the local college. My ears pop during the descent, and I swallow hard to equalize the pressure. Tires give the faintest squeak as rubber hits the tarmac, and the plane shakes when all wheels finally touch down. When I was younger, 3 different airlines serviced the local airport, but we no longer have the luxury of options when flying into Alder Falls. It's only American Airlines now. 2 flights a day, one in the morning and one coming in ungodly late at night. As there's no other traffic to fight, it only takes a few minutes to taxi to the gate. The seatbelt sign dims, and all around me people are hurrying to their feet and popping the overhead bins. I just wait. Breathing becomes a little easier as the boar steps into the aisle, finally giving me room to relax. The bunny couple across the way looks annoyed with his girth. They look over at me, and assuming to find camaraderie, roll their eyes. I just wait. When the plane is almost empty, I reach down and pull a bursting backpack from beneath the seat in front of me. As I stand, I realize just how hot the plane is. I'm damp. I'm uncomfortable. I pull my duffel free of the overhead bin and sling it in front of me so I can make my way down the aisle. As I exit the plane, the steward flashes me a very feline smile, the same that's appeared any time I've glanced his way during the flight. Enjoy your stay in Alder Falls. He may be flirting, but it's late, it's hot, and I just want to go to bed, so all I can do is mumble in return. Thanks. The jet bridge is cool, refreshingly so, and a sense of relief hits me as I make my way to the terminal. My eyes squint at the harsh fluorescent light. It's a big change from the plane. I don't have to look long though. The only other squirrel in the small waiting area stands, her lips pulling into a wide smile as she sees me and makes her way over. Hi, Ma. It comes out quiet as I drop the duffel to my side. The hesitance, ache, and happiness I'm feeling are present as I curl my arms around her for a ferocious hug. Oh, it's so good to see you. I can tell she's trying to hold back her emotions. The hug alone is proof of that. When it finally breaks, she places both hands on my shoulders, an eyebrow raising as her tail flicks behind her. Check the luggage? I tap the duffel bag with my foot and shrug. Just this. Though it's more than the last time I was home, she glances between the bag on the floor and the bag on my back. You always did travel light. She goes to pick up the duffel bag and I object. It's alright, I got it. At about that time, I realize my brothers aren't here. Caleb and Evan at home? There's a rich chuckle before she answers. Dear, it's after 11 and a school night. I'm sure they're long asleep by now. I give a mischievous grin. I don't know. When I was 16, this was about the perfect time to get up to trouble. Her fingers prod my chest. When you were 16, your father was around to help keep you in line. That stings a little, so I carry on smiling and heft my shoulders in a shrug. I grab my second bag and flick my head toward the exit. Without another word, we make our way into the crisp autumn air. She's parked a little ways down the loading zone. One of the nice things about a small airport is they don't really bother with ticketing and towing. She's also friends with a few of the folks who work for American here, so that helps. I toss my bags into the back of her station wagon, then climb into the front seat, making sure to pull my tail to the side so as not to sit on it. She starts the car and turns my way. Just wanna let it warm up a little. It's getting pretty old. I nod in return. Kinda like us. There's a quiet sigh, before she responds even quieter. Yes. She pulls away from the curb and begins the quick drive back home. I haven't been back in 3 years, not since my father passed. She keeps looking forward, but she finally says, I know it's late. I know you probably don't want to talk about it now. Her voice cracks slightly. But I just want you to know that I'm sorry about what happened with your job and your partner. My eyes burn. I can't tell if it's the dry air from the plane or if I'm trying to convince myself that because I can feel tears welling up. Thanks, Ma. I rub my nose against the back of my hand and reach up to rub my eyes with my thumb and forefinger. The rest of the ride is pretty quiet, which helps me calm down and just think about bed. She pulls up and parks. I look out the window at the house I grew up in. You paint it? Yeah, it's green now. It's nice. We undo our seatbelts and step out into the cool night air. I gather my bags and follow her up and into the house. She glances over her shoulder. I've gone ahead and changed the sheets on your bed. You know where the towels are, if you want to take a shower tonight, that is. I give a warm smile, throwing off my shoes. I'd just like to go to bed. She gives me another hug and kisses my cheek before pulling back. Go do that. Sleep well. I make my way as quietly as I can upstairs and to my old room. Deja vu sets in hard as I look around. Aside from the few belongings I took when I graduated from college, everything is still the same. I set both bags at the foot of the dresser, then look at the collected toys and trinkets scattered across the wood surface. I can tell that the room has been cleaned recently. My shoulders shrug as I work off my leather jacket. It's tossed into the nearby armchair. I peel the shirt I'm wearing off my body and undo my pants. Both are abandoned on the floor, and with a zip, I retrieve my phone charger from a pocket on the side of my backpack. Heavy feet guide me to the bed. My fingers curl beneath comforter, blanket, and sheet, drawing them back before I take a seat on the edge of the bed. My tail curls tight behind me as I lean down and take off my socks. Toes play and then I shift, pulling the surge protector from beneath the bed and plugging my phone in to charge. I click the home button and swipe up to bring the device out of airplane mode. I wait a moment seeing if I have any new messages before climbing under the pile of blankets and rolling onto my stomach. Even though it has been years, the bed still smells like me. Well, a younger me. My right arm tucks under the pillow and sleep follows quickly. It only seems like a moment has passed, but bright morning light has come to rest on my face, drawing me from slumber reluctantly. I smack my lips, mouth feeling tacky and dry, and want nothing more than a cup of coffee. Climbing out of bed reveals how stiff I am, and I gingerly make my way to the door, peeking out before I descend the stairs and head to the kitchen. My tail is still waking up. It gives a few slow shakes behind me as I go through the motions of making a pot of coffee. Still the same drip machine, so being half asleep isn't a problem. Filter, coffee, tap water, start. As the machine comes to life, I open the cabinet above and pull down a small white coffee mug. Time seems to crawl, but eventually the machine comes to a stop with a gurgle. I pick up the pot of coffee, pour slowly, then return it to the warming plate. I collect the mug with both hands, warming them before heading back up to my room. Floorboards creak along the way, my ears twitching as I start to hear the faint noises of stirring bodies. I shut my door, then reach down and lock it. It's a few steps to the window, and I draw back the curtains, taking a good look out at my street for the first time since I arrived last night. Yes, my street. The curtains fall back into place with a soft thump as I finally set them free. I curl my free hand once more around the coffee mug and lift it to my lips, pressing to blow across the surface of my drink. The muffled sound of laughter brings a lopsided smile to my face. I think that's Evan. I'll have to ask what was so funny later. I breathe deeply, enjoying the rich, almost metallic smell of my coffee. The ceramic is hot against my lips, drawing a throaty grunt from me as I take my first drink. It's just after 7 in the morning, and based on my look outside, the weather cooled off enough overnight for frost to stick. As quickly as I savor that first sip of coffee, the mug is abandoned at my bedside table. Reaching down to the charging station partially hidden under the bed, I retrieve my phone. With an over-exaggerated stretch, my body falls back, hitting the mattress with yet another soft thump. At 32, I wasn't expecting to be living at home. Yet here I am. Knuckles wander across my chest, scratching, as I yawn and wriggle back till I'm half under the comforter again. If I could just sleep till spring. I mumble while thumbing in the code to unlock my phone. But then again, I'm not a bear. My lips pull into a buck-toothed smile at my silly joke, and I flick the screen a few times and open one of my favorite apps, Rougher. Eyes travel over to the door for a brief second, making sure it's locked, before I let my unoccupied hand sneak down and adjust myself through my briefs. Perfect squares with perfect men. It's never been a boost for self-esteem, but the voyeur in me has always loved these kind of apps. There's a bit of worry at the back of my head, wondering if anyone I know also uses the app, but after looking at a few handsome faces and headless torso shots, I push it aside. Plus, I haven't been home in almost 3 years. I'm sure anyone who knew me would either be married with kids at this age or just surprised to see me back in town. My claws need to be trimmed. I notice out loud while scrolling through the local meet. Having gotten late, I navigate through to the viewers section. Nothing new, surprisingly, but then again my phone was in airplane mode, till just before I passed out. My fingers dip beneath the hem of my briefs, sending a shiver down my spine as I tickle myself accidentally. As I click back to the main menu, I go on and slip my hand fully into my underwear, reaching down to cup my nuts and give them a firm squeeze. I just lay there like that, gentle pressure on my balloons as I begin to examine each little square a bit more closely. As a squirrel, I feel like I should be more intimidated by the toothy smiles and mock snarls on some of these faces, but a wolf's a wolf, right? That said, there are some pretty good-looking wolves who aren't that far away. I'm much less interested in other prey like me, but I can still appreciate a chiseled body, or there is this deer and his smile is nice, gorgeous, that black fur framing his lips, it's defining. My hand shifts from my nuts up to my hard-on as I adjust and finally lift the tip of my chicken pop free from my boxer briefs. While settling, I've navigated into his profile and have clicked on his picture so I can zoom in and just admire. Okay, so there's some NSFW going on there, and let's read the profile. Head to night. Online, he is 5,847 feet away. No fats, no femmes. Just want real beef. Can play either role. No fake sense. No telling anyone. How charming. I tap out of his picture and scroll down so I can read his profile. It's abrupt and pretty off-putting. No fats, no femmes. Of course it starts off that way. I growl under my breath, tail doing its best to do that annoyed squirrel shake under the comforter. If I wanted to get back in the closet, I certainly wouldn't do it for this guy. As sexy as he is, the text has certainly dampened the mood. My softening chicken agrees completely. Hey, hang in there, buddy. I coo on down at my own crotch. To help keep things moving, I back out of the buck's profile, mumbling about how it's too bad because he does have a nice rack. Okay, and now he has taken off his briefs and he has let his chicken out free. My eyes flick along the rows of selfies, vacation shots, and half-naked bodies. I'm almost bored as I slowly tug my jick and click into the profiles of a few other men. A few handsome coyotes, a boyish field mouse who I only click on because I can't believe for a moment that he's my age, a thick tiger who is all muscle and has a penchant for fucking in sports gear. The football kit he has on looks great. It's not until I scroll down, refreshing the listings, that I notice a pretty modest full body shot. Hello? It comes out as a whisper, and I give pause to the affection I'm showing myself. There's a gentle knock at the door, and I quickly glance to the top of the screen to see it's almost 8. It doesn't feel like an hour has passed, but then again, as I look down and notice the feathering of Pre across my stomach, reality sets in. I'm awake. I choke while stuffing myself back into my undies. Of course you are. I don't expect your brothers know how to make coffee. Comes the amused voice from the other side of the door. I just wanted to let you know that I'm about to take the twins to school. There's some buckwheat pancakes and bacon holding in the oven if you want them. Thanks, Ma. My body shifts and rolls to the side as I prop up on my elbow and grab my now lukewarm cup of coffee to slug it. You're quite welcome, Corey. There's a pause. It's good to have you home. We love you. I have no idea how I missed her approach. The floorboard in the hallway gives a deep creak as she wanders back to the stairs. My ears perk and swivel, and I breathe through my nose as I finish up my mug of coffee. I hear her bark after a few. Evan, Caleb, hurry up or you're going to be late for school. In unison, she gets her reply. Coming. Feet are stomping down the hall. God, was I this loud when I was their age? I'll have to ask Ma. Then there's a quick rhythmic stomping as they race down the stairs. The door opens and slams, and then just a nice golden silence. I'm not horny anymore, so I set the phone on the nightstand, get on up, and head over to my duffel. Now that I'm free from the warmth of the bed, I can really tell how chilly it is. I shuffle around clothes, find what I'm looking for, and toss a pair of jeans and a baseball tee onto the bed. The last thing I pull free is a pair of yoga pants. I shimmy into them, then grab my dop kit and head to the door. There's an audible click as I undo the lock, and even though I know I am alone, I peek my head into the hallway first, glancing in either direction before I slip out and make my way to the bathroom. Once the door is closed, I hook my thumbs at my waistline and chuck pants and underwear in one quick go. I kick them aside and make my way over to the glass-doored cabinet where I retrieve a towel. I'm not sure what I'll get up to today, but even though the clawfoot tub is calling my name, I don't really want to commit to that much time in the bathroom. I draw the vinyl curtain on the recessed shower, then reach in to start the water. My hand adjusts the timer on the combo fan and heat lamp. If I'm here for longer than 15 minutes, I can't be guaranteed hot water. Maybe I should use some of my savings to get a new hot water heater for the house. Mama's mentioned the current one has been dying for at least a year now. After threading the towel through the rack on the wall next to the shower, I dip back to the sink, hands resting against the edge of the porcelain basin as I inspect myself in the mirror. I lean forward to check for bags under my eyes. Iowa is only a 2-hour time difference from the bay, but even that is enough to mess up my sleep. Satisfied, I take a long look at myself. For a squirrel, I have a decent build. not overly bulky, just chipped away to the right proportions. I turn, reflection following suit, obviously, and flex. A buck-toothed grin emerges as I watch muscle take more visible shape under my downy white fur. That giant bristled tail of mine shakes approvingly as my eyes take in that rounded ash. Looking good, Corey. If there's anything I made sure to take away from my personal trainer, it was proper form on squats. My nose itches. I rub it. Oh, sweet fuck! I look at my hand with disgust, then come to the realization that the smell is me. It's somewhere between vinegar and, well, not good. I laugh, making a note to wash my balloons, then dip over to the shower. Steam is billowing out the 6 free inches at the top, so I make sure to check the temperature before getting in. Hot, not scalding. As I step in, my body relaxes and I lean against the wooden wall. Having so much fur means I feel heavy when I get this soaked, but it's good. A sobering affirmation to what's real. Unconsciously, I grab my shampoo from the shower caddy. I blink a few times, water running down my muzzle. Wait, it's in my DOP kit. The bottle in my hand is the right brand though. Of course, Ma would make sure what I need is in the house. It's almost like I haven't left. Having albinism means I have sensitive skin. I know this stuff isn't cheap, so I'll have to pay her back. Lord knows she won't want to take the money, so I'll sneak it into her purse or something. Using my thumb claw, I pop open the plastic lid. I squeeze a decent amount of the clear gel into my left hand, then place the bottle back in the caddy. With my fur this wet, I won't need to keep the water running, at least not while I lather up. Making sure not to adjust the temperature, I press on the faucet, pausing the flow of water for now. Though it costs an arm and a leg, the shampoo has always been amazing. You don't really need much to get clean, even when you're as hairy as I am. My hands make quick work of it, bringing the shampoo to a nice foam before I begin to work it into my wet fur. I'm sure that being crammed into a full flight with heaters running at full blast, along with sleeping under a cold weather down comforter is why I stink, so first priority is obviously those trouble spots. I tuck my hands under my arms briefly, leaving a bit of soap before rubbing at my crotch and under my balloons. I reach back under my tail, which looks ridiculous soaking wet, and run my mitt along the cleft of my rump. With the soap more or less distributed, I get to cleaning in earnest. My ears perk as I hear a little chirp. 5 minutes till the heat lamp is off. I build a lather through my tail, fingers doing their best to run through the fur of the unruly appendage. God, you can be annoying. I mumble as it flicks in agitation, almost like a kid that doesn't want to be cleaned. By this point, I'm chilly from the lack of hot water. I pull on the faucet, letting out an audible grunt as hot water flows over my form. I shut my eyes, head dipping and chin meeting my chest as the suds roll down my body. It only takes a minute or so to rinse fully. After shutting off the water, I draw back the shower curtain and reach for my towel. I dry as best I can, but having such thick fur means that a hairdryer is necessary to finish the job. The heat lamp clicks off as I go about this task. Only after getting my tail to just damp do I accept that I'm not going to hurry the process along. I leave the soaked towel in the back of the tub. Water pulls away and runs slowly toward the drain. I retrieve my yoga pants and crack the door. Ma? My ears go pert as I listen for a reply. Good, she's still out, so I strut on back to my room, tail flicking behind me.